It's cold here in my basement, but when I have my bathrobe on, I can't reach. I bump them. My arms are too big, and they bump the camera in front of me. So let's see if I can compromise. There we go. All right. Hi. Good morning, cubies and newbies. I am Sunshine, and this is the ABCube method for solving Rubik's cubes. It solves every type of Rubik's cube. And some other twisty puzzles. So Formula A and Formula B is all you need to solve every Rubik's Cube, because Formula A brings a piece to the top, Formula B moves 3 pieces around, and you just hold the cube, look at the front of the cube as if it were is my microphone working? As if it were a spreadsheet with rows and columns, and 1 row, 2 columns is Formula B, 1 row, 1 column is Formula A. And I just got this one out. I had it packed away for a while. So let's see what mischief we can make with this one. This is a mirror cube, 5x5 mirror cube. And it looks like it doesn't focus well because it's too big. Also, it's not magnetized, and so that does become difficult to turn, and everything has to be completely lined up in order to turn. So maybe it's not the right one for me to play with today on camera. But I wanted to start. Hi, kitty. All right. So, all right. As I hold the cube in my hands, I'm feeling from the outside in, and so this feels like a large piece, and this feels like a large piece. So let's try to move all the large pieces to it's not turning for me to the same size. So I'm working only with the corners, and this feels like a large piece. So I find another large piece. Okay. Those appear to be the same size. Alright, so we're going to call this our yellow. We're going to bring the largest pieces to the top size. That one's not one. That one's not one. Rotate the bottom quarter turn. That feels like one. Formula A. Out, down, down, in. This is not going to work, is it? Up, out, down. This is not going to work. Failed attempt. Okay. Let's see if I can get the long side, the tall side on the top using Formula A. I love it in concept. Okay. Alright, so that looks right. Okay, so we've got 3 of them, 4 of them. All of them are on top. Okay, so we have the long side on top. Now we check the sides to see if they match. These 2 might match. These 2 match. They all match to one another. Okay, so these corners are correct. Yay! All right. Put them face down and do the short side for these ones. That looks like it's the short side. This one is not. So, Formula A. Out, down, in, up. This is not working. I should give up. Out, down, in, up. Formula A again to twist it until the short side is on top. Okay, when it is, slide it out of the way, keep going. That one's also short. This one's not. Out, down. Oh, for magnets. Yeah, I'll do this one off camera. Oh well. Alright, if you've just joined me, I am Sunshine. I am the creator of the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes, and it works on every size, complexity Rubik's Cube. From the 2x2 on up through the n by n, whichever size you want to have. And so all we're doing is Formula A will bring a piece to the top, and then Formula B will move it around as needed. And there's no order of operations, but when I do it, I do the corners first, then the edges, and the centers last. And I do that for a couple of reasons. Number one is because every cube has the 8 corners, and so whatever cube you have, you don't have to differentiate. You can do the 4 corners the exact same way. And when you do, the 2x2 solved and everything else has the corners then dictate what color each face is going to be. So and then from there I place the edges in between the corners. And again, I said that one reason, so that then the smaller cubes get solved. I'm solving all the pieces that show on a smaller cube, and then until we're left with just the large cubes, and we do the centers on those. Partly because if there's a parity, it's going to show up on the corners or edges. So parities can be undone with a single quarter turn, and then the parity is dissolved and the cube is solvable. And if you save the centers for last, doing that single quarter turn doesn't alter anything you've already done, so you don't have to redo anything if you do the centers last. Alright, so corners. I think I did that yesterday. So this one, the yellow is on top on all 4 corners. So the next thing to do is check the other colors of the cube. Red does not equal orange, blue does not equal green, red does not equal orange. When your colors are on top, on all 4 sides, let's do it on okay, yellows are on top. One of 3 things will occur. Either all of the corners are correct to each other, or none of the corners are correct to each other, or one side is correct to each other and only one side. The corners are correct, I can set that aside. This one, the corners are correct, I can set that aside. This one has one side, no side matches on this one. So I'm going to, I'll do my formula, and when I finish with no sides, it's going to move 3 corners around. When I finish from doing it, then I will have one side that matches, and when you have one side that matches, you face it away from you and then you proceed. So since I don't have a side that matches, it doesn't matter which way I hold it to begin. So the next step would be Formula B, which is top row, 2 columns, and for the corners we're using the outside columns. So slide up, slide up, slide down, and it moved 3 cubes around. This one stayed stationary, and so I'm going to bring the yellows back to the top. Formula A brings the color to the top, bottom row, right column, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. And when the yellow comes to the top, we slide the top to protect it, not the whole cube, keep the cube stable, and then continue our Formula A until the yellow is on top on all 4 corners. Da, 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 da. Okay, and the reason I'm not moving the cube is because I solved the second 4 corners the exact same way I solved the first 4 corners, so I don't have to teach you 2 ways to do corners. Whoopsie. Okay, so yellow's on top. That doesn't match, this does. One side matches. Okay, so we had no matches, we did B and A, and now we have one side that matches. When we have one side that matches, it faces away from us, as if it's the headlights of a car that we're driving. And we're going to do B and A to bring yellows back to the top again. And when we do, the sides will all match. So slide up, slide up, slide down, and now we bring formula A. We would use formula A to bring our active color to the top. Okay, slide it to protect it and continue with this one until the yellow's on top on all four sides. There we go. And at this point in time, yellow's on top and the corners are correct to each other on all of these cubes. Oh, this one's too big. I'll do it later. Okay, so when the yellow side is done, then we put it face down. We're going to abandon it and we're going to work on the next color. And we're going to do it the exact same way we did. We already established, okay, all of the corners have a white, a yellow is face down. So I'm going to use formula A to bring my white to the top on all four corners. I'm going to do it without rotating my cube. So formula A, slide to protect it, move it out of the way, keep going on this one. Slide the top to protect it, keep going. Now, I remember I said I was abandoning the yellow. If I look at the yellow, I'm just going to look like it's messed up, and I'm going to go, oh no, I've messed up, I got to start over again. No, you don't, because we're abandoning it because we trust that it'll resolve itself. And so we continue with our formula A until our color is on top on all four corners. And only then have we completed the A formula. When white's on top, then we can look and check our yellows and see that they're still happy with each other. Because doing formula A and doing formula B is not going to mess up the bottom of the cube. It's only going to affect the top of the cube that we're working on, because mathematics of the cube, which I don't understand but I trust. So white's on top, that doesn't match, that doesn't match, this one does. So again, either all of them match, none of them, or one side does. And if none of them match, it doesn't matter how you hold it, but if one side matches, it has to face away from you. If they all match, you pause it until you get the rest of the steps where they want to be. So our yellow, like I said, is still happy with itself, happy with each other. So formula B is going to move 3 pieces around, and then A will bring the white back to the top again. And we only check when we're finished with the formula. We only check the bottom, because if we check it mid formula, then it's going to look, we're going to get confused. So that's why we're abandoning the yellow. It'll take care of itself. So slide first up, slide second up, slide first down, slide second down. You'll notice every other move is horizontal, every other horizontal is the one before it, so you get some muscle memory going on that. And then A to bring your color back to the top, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Slide to protect it. Keep your cube stable. And I'm not checking the yellows until I'm finished with getting my whites to the top. Because as long as I don't rotate the cube and only rotate the top layer as I'm going along, the bottom will stay happy. And there's our yellow still still happy. Alright, so now we check. We've got whites on top, and now all sides match to each other. So as needed, rotate the top until the top lines up with the bottom corners, and boom, the colored corners are done on this one. Okay, let's do that again. Yellow is content. We're going to put it face down, trust it to take care of itself. This one was white, this one's also white, so I'll start here. And formula A to bring my color to the top. I'm ignoring everything but the corners. I don't care about anything but the corners. And right now I'm looking only for white. Okay, slide the top to move it out of the way and continue with this one. Formula A, out, down, and up. And there we go. So white's on top on all four corners. Now I can check out my yellows. Yep, they're still happy. So now this side does not match, this side does not match. This one has no sides that match. That's one of the three states that's going to happen. And so if none of them match, it doesn't matter how I hold the cube. I do formula B, up, up, down, down, and A to bring my color back to the top again. Slide to protect it, keep my cube stable. Up, slide to protect it, continue with this one, keep my cube stable until all of my whites are on top. And then I can check my yellows. Yep, they're still happy. So none of them match, so if I look now, one of them should match. And yes, it's the red side that matches, so they go away from me. And I do the whole thing again. Formula B, slide up, slide down, and A to bring, and after formula B doesn't mess up the yellows. And formula A doesn't mess up the yellows as long as it don't stop mid-pattern. Up, slide, up, slide. This is not a speed solving method. This is not the shortest moves method. This is not. There's nothing efficient about solving this cube with this method. So second four corners are correct to each other. First four corners are still correct to each other, and top matches the bottom. So set that aside. There's nothing. So this is not a speed solving method. But what it does, what it does do is when I'm teaching non-cubers, total non-cubers, you know, my brother can do it, and he's always tried to teach me, and I can never learn. Those people, it takes me total teach time between an hour and a half and 2 hours. That's 2 sessions, an hour session, and before the second session is up, they can leave knowing that they can pick up any cube in any state of scramble and put it down solved. Because they've taken a picture of A and B, I'm going to put it on a keychain. Won't that be fun? And a hat and a t-shirt. But they know that they can pick up any cube and put it down solved with just formula A and B. So this one, the corners are correct on this one, the corners are correct on this one, the yellows are correct on this one, so put the yellow face down. Oh, the whites are whites. Okay, they're all on the same side, so I look to see if they match. None of them match. Okay, so again, all, none, or one. If they're solved, you pause and proceed to the next step. If one exists, then it faces away from you. If none of them, it doesn't matter how you hold the cube to begin with. When you're finished, you'll have one side that matches. So, one row, 2 columns, outside columns, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay, yellow is not hurt. And formula A to bring the white back to the top again. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up. Slide to protect. Keep going. Out, down, in, up until the white's on top on all sides, all 4 corners. Slide. Out, down, and up. Out, down, and up. White's on top on all 4 corners. Yellow is still happy with itself. And now we look to see either no sides match, so now one side should match. And it is the red, so we face it away. Formula B again. Up, up, down, down. And A to bring our color back to the top. Out, down, in, up. Slide, out, down, and up. Slide, out, down, and up. Okay, and now our first 4 corners are still happy with each other. Our second 4 corners are now happy with each other. So rotate the top by quarter turns if as needed, if the top and bottom are not correct to each other. And there you go. So the corners are correct on all these cubes. Corners are correct in all these cubes. That one's finished. Then what's needed on the next smallest cube is what we're going to do next. So we're going to do we've done the corners. The next step is from this point forward, formula A will set our centers as needed. Okay, so this white wants to be up here between these white corners. Okay, and so it's under where it wants to be. And I could just muscle it up there and at this point, but I teach, the way I teach is so that nothing else gets messed up if other things are there that you want to save. So assume if these pieces were something I didn't want to mess up, I would take this piece and I apply formula A to it. This row, this column. So I move it away, move the space down, move the cube into the space, and the cube in the space back up again. And the only thing that moved was the center space here. So we can do that. We can do that for odd number cubes, but for even number cubes, we can't set the center right now because we don't know where it's supposed to be. So formula A, out, down, in, up. Now I look for the white piece. It's right here, under where it wants to be. This row, this column, out, down, in, up. And we set the rest of it. Okay, so from this point forward, everything else is formula B. And we just move. Oh, Doug, hi. Hi. Yeah, sorry I called you a youngster yesterday. I did not realize. But hi. Are you feeling better with your COVID? Or did you break down and go to the emergency room? If you've just joined us, or if you're new, I am Sunshine, and thank you for joining me. This is fun. You did go to urgent care. So did they give you? So they lowered your temperature a little bit. I'm sorry you've had it so rough. That's that's all right. I'm glad you're feeling. I hope you're feeling better. I hope you're feeling better. I know that the nature pneumonia. Oh, my mom, when I was a kid, my mom had got pneumonia, and she coughed so bad she cracked a rib. So pneumonia is not fun. I'm glad you were able to figure out what was going on. Well, I'm glad you broke down and went to the ER, because sometimes you gotta do that. So what's the plan? What's your how much longer they think you're gonna be feeling? You got a 5x5. Awesome. You're speed cubing with me in the background. Okay. I just found out yesterday that I have some cubes on the way. I forgot I don't remember what cubes I ordered. Another 4 to 5 days you'll be feeling better. Okay. Yeah, so my former landlord said, I got a bunch of packages in the mail, and I opened them all without looking at the names because I thought they were all mine. So I opened up your cubes. I'll bring them over to you on Thursday. So I have some cubes coming to me. I don't remember what they are. That's the thing about ordering from Amazon when you're old and have memory problems, is that you know, every package that comes is like, ooh, fun! What's this? What's this gift? Rather than, oh, the thing I ordered finally came. It's like, ooh, what's this? Surprise! All right, so that's it. Formula A, Formula B. That's all you need to do for a cube. If you come up with a parity, it's a lie, and all you gotta do is the formula B always moves 3 pieces around, and so if you ever have 2 pieces and only 2 pieces, that's what a parity looks like. Whether it's this piece wants to be here and this piece wants to be here, or this piece wants to be here, depending on how you got there. You know, if you did the reduction method, they're going to be side by side. If you do my method, they're always going to end up opposite each other. If you're just solving intuitively, they can show up and lots of different things. But anytime you have 2 and only 2 pieces, whether it's on a corner or an edge, only 2 pieces that need to be flipped, the The lie is that there's always 3 pieces, and so if it looks like 2 pieces, like if it's corners, if this one's correct, and these 2 are not, 1 single quarter turn on the row that the parity is on, the slice that the parity is on, will undo that parity, solve from that stasis instead of where you had it, and the parity has dissolved itself. You don't have to worry about, so if I do the corners first, then the corner parities I don't get, and then when I'm doing the edge parities, it shows up, I do a quarter turn, and I keep going because I'm done. And so that quarter turn is going to affect the centers if I've done centers already. Well, it's going to affect the centers whether I've done it or not. So if I've done the centers already, I'm going to have to reset those centers after I do that quarter turn. But if I'm going from outside in, then I haven't done the centers yet, so it's easier to just do that quarter turn and keep going. So formula A and B doesn't address parities because you don't need to. Single quarter turn, they disappear and you keep going. So that feels like a good pausing place. You guys already, how are you guys doing? Y'all, am I just in the background while you're getting ready for your day? Because I'm happy to do that. So if you guys ever want, bring me your non-cuber friends if you wanna, and we can play. I do teach this in real life and over the internet, and for my sister I do it over the phone. Every time she's on, I say my sister, I have 3 of them, so but she does the cube, and she does it her own way. She's not interested in learning my method, but anytime she's on a road trip, she takes her cube with her, and she can do the first 2 layers just fine, and then she forgets what to do for the last layer. So anytime she's on a road trip, she'll call me, "Hi sis, I've got my cube with me, can you help me?" I'm like, "Sure, what does it look like?" And she tells me what it looks like, and I tell her what to do, and she solves her cube and says, "Okay, great, it's solved now, thanks, bye." So the majority of my interactions with her is I'm helping her solve the cube, and that's fun. But I do teach, and it always takes me between 1.5 hours to 2 hours total teach time. That's over a week. I'll sit down for an hour with someone, and then I'll send them away with a cube to play with, and they come back and they say, "Okay, I just have 1 question now. I got most of it done." Whatever, and I'll answer that question. We'll play with it some, and they leave with a cube. I let them choose a cube because if you don't have a cube in your hand, this method is useless because it's not an intellectual experiment. You have to actually have the cube to do anything with it. So, but it's fun because, like, I'll be at church or something, and someone will see me with a cube in their hand, and they're like, "Wow, do you know how to do that? Do you know how to solve it?" I'm like, "Oh, I can do more than that," and I'll just walk over to someone I've taught before, and and I'll just put the cube in her hand. I won't even, no, hi, how you doing? She's talking to someone else, that's okay, I don't interrupt them. I just hold out the cube for her to take, and she takes it and looks at it, and so she continues her conversation, and just da-da-da-da-da, and she'll solve it, and then she'll just like hold it in her hand, and I'm like, I'll take it back. "Can you do a 3x3 time solved, please?" "Oh, you want me to do one right now?" I can do it. I cannot use I haven't found my Go Cube after the move, so I know my Go Cube is in a pocket in my scarf, but I'm no idea where the scarf is. Yeah, I can do a 3x3 time solved. Here's the thing, I don't have a timer, so you have to time me. I don't have a timer, but my Go Cube times me when I do time solved. When I am, my average, okay, scramble it without looking, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, my average is about 1.5 minutes, so if you're looking for something sub 20, I don't do it, but I'm happy to do that. Don't race me, you'll win. Okay. Yellow. I'm going to do my white before I fix that, because sometimes okay, so what's this one has on one side, this one has one side. So these two, whoops, hold on. Okay. I thought it was, there we go. Okay, so looking at the red, there we go. Alright, so there we go, and then white. Nope. Alright, start over. I tried to skip a step, and I got lost. I know I can do better than that. So let's start over again. I'm learning blind right now, and color orientation is hard. I have... There was a trick I used to do back in the 80s. In that I had a pattern, I had created a pattern on my cube that was I really liked, and I did it, and then I wrote down everything that I had to do in order to get back to solve. So it was a big old long algorithm I had to memorize, but I had it memorized. So if I had my cube in that pattern, then I would take the cube and put it behind my back. And I'd say, okay, and then I would go through the pattern that I had memorized, and people would watch me with the cube behind my back and see it, you know, oh, that's so close, never, oh, wait, you know, and and so I could get it back to solve because it was in a defined state, right? I did not, blind was not a thing back then, but everyone thought that I could solve it behind my back. And so that was a trick that I played on everybody. When I was with my nephew about a month ago, he said, hey, can you still do the cube behind your back? Can you still do it? I'm like, okay, here's the trick I played on you. I never actually could, but I can still do that method. All right, you ready? You can time me? Okay, go. Four by four blindfolded? You're magic. Don't. Oh, what did I do? Oh. Alright. Okay, I gotta fix my whites here. Okay. And we're on the last four. Haha. I shall win. Boom. So that's me. I'm guessing it was about a minute and a half once probably more closer to a minute and 40 because I scrambled my whites somehow. Do you think I can get a blind success in 5 days or less? Blind for, okay, you already told me you can do blind 4x4. Oh, no, that was Doug who can do the blind 4x4. I'm learning blind and don't get color orientation at all. I've read about blind. It's like you have to look at the cube and you have to figure out, you have to memorize the orientation and you assign letters and numbers to it, and then you like make up words that to help you remember. On a 5x5 I was 0 out of 10 attempts. Okay. Two success. Hey, oh, that's a duplicatable success. 2 successes is a duplicatable success. Do I think you can get a blind success in 5 days or less? I think that you can do whatever you set your mind to it. I believe in you. I believe that whatever is important to you, that you can do anything if you believe you can. Yesterday's 46 seconds. For a single. A single on a 5x5? Are we talking about? Yes, we're talking about getting confused. Okay, so how did I do? I am not in the league with speed cubers, but it is fun to try sometimes. Here's the thing with my Go Cube. I have a Go Cube. And when I solve my cube, you know, it tells you at the end how you did, how many moves you made, blah, 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 and it says, you know, click here for more information. When you click there for more information, it says, oh, it looks like you were using this method, and so this method has these steps broken down, and so it took you this many moves for this step, this many moves for this step, this many moves for this step, and you paused in these spaces, so that's where you need to work on. My 3x3 average is 15 seconds. 2x2 is sub 5, sometimes sub 4. That's cool. So I'll look at the more details, and it'll say it looks like you're using YAL method, or it looks like you're using F2L, whatever. It'll tell me what method I was using, and then it'll tell me it has it broken down, and it's supposed to be a little pie chart. Okay, it's supposed to be a little pie chart that says this. It took you this much for this step, this much for this step. Well, it doesn't know my method, so as I'm doing the corners, and then I do the corners, and then I do the opposite edges. So they're like, well, it took you 100 moves to get the white cross, and then oh, you look at that, you did you did another 20 moves, and then you got the second cross, and then oh look, it took you 0 moves to get the corners, and then 0 moves to get this, and then 0 moves to get this, and then 5 more moves to get the last step, and then you were done. So instead of a pie chart with like 6 different slices in it, it's got like 3 slices in it with like because it doesn't know what I'm doing, and so it's fun to confuse it. So I should contact them, and I should make them put my method in there. I should make them in a re-release. I think you know what I want them to do? I want them to get, if they can do a 3x3, they can do a 5x5. I want them to do a 5x5, and I want them to teach my method to beginners, because I think that would be so cool. Here's what I really want, though. I've seen, I don't remember, I think it's Rubik's, but I'm not sure. Just a solid cube, but it's a touch screen. And so that's not great. ZBLs. Does the B stand for blind? I don't know what that means. So they have a solid cube with a touch screen, and it's divided into, it's a 3x3, and so instead of going like that, you go like that. and so you can just do it like this on a touch screen. And I'm like, okay, if they can do it for 3x3, why don't they can do different cubes on that. And so you can just set it to be a 3x3 or a 4x4 or a 5x5, and then you can just touch as if at the 5x5. And so I want them to take that 3x3 touch, whatever it's called, and turn it into a variable cube. That's what I want. And then I want them to teach my method as the default for beginners. Hey, +2. It's step where you learn to insert the last corner edge pair to get the first 2 layers. You also solve the orientation of the last 2 edges. Okay. C, B. Alright, so that one's done. Do you want to see how fast I can do my 4x4? I will solve this one. I might come back later today and work on this one some more. Or I might just scramble it and start over again. But Formula A works, A and B works on the minxes as well. Formula A, again, moves pieces to the top, moves and twists pieces, and B does same thing it does on here, except for when one of your columns is a middle column, it has unintended consequences. It moves more than just 3 pieces. So you want to do there's order of operations for the minx. You have to do the star before you do the other pieces, because when you're working with the star, it affects the other pieces. So if you've already done them, you have to reset them. If you haven't done them yet, you just do them once. So this is fun. I can solve this. I can solve all of my minxes with just Formula A and just Formula B. I don't have to bring in any algorithms for that. If you have a type of cube puzzle that you want me to try my method on, let me know. I have not tried it on the Pyraminx yet because I don't have a Pyraminx. I had a Pyraminx back in the 80s when I was doing it all intuitively. Alright, well that's it for me today. I need to go feed my face. I'll be back tomorrow. So these all have the corners done. That one, sorry, done. These have the corner. Do they have the yellow corners done? Nope, I scrambled it one. That one's not. I'll come back and play tomorrow. You guys go have fun. Dog rest. Chicken soup. And thank you for joining me today. Thank you for letting me entertain you. And I'll be back tomorrow. Bring me your non-cuber friends if they wanna, and we'll have some fun. Take care of yourself. Bye.